What's up, guys? Theo here. Welcome back to the It Factor MMA. Today, coming to you with the prediction for Manon Fiorot versus Erin Blanchfield. So right now, Blanchfield is a minus 160 favorite, and the comeback on Manon Fiorot is plus 130 on DraftKings. And guys, I like Manon Fiorot here, and I say that as someone who is a big fan of Erin Blanchfield, and I have made a lot of money betting on Blanchfield in the past, particularly when she was an underdog against Jessica Andrade. Made a lot of money betting on her there. And, I've just always kind of thought, oh, this girl's probably going to be champ in the future. That being said, I already have 1.5 units on Manon Fiorot at plus money. 1 unit was at plus 115. 0.5 units was at plus 120. And I'm probably going to add another 0.25 units onto that because she is a plus 130 right now, and I want to keep getting better odds on her. Probably won't bet more than 2 units total, but I do think that Manon has a lot of stylistic advantages in this fight. You know, we saw in the Blanchfield and Santos fight that Blanchfield had a hard time getting Taila Santos down. Spent a lot of time pushing her against the fence, was ultimately able to find her at a few points and get her down, if I remember correctly. But she did encounter a lot of resistance against Santos, particularly early on the feet. She was getting hit with a lot of shots, and, Blanchfield, being the dog that she is, kept going forward and obviously controlled the fight. But Santos was making that fight very, very close. And if you go back and watch that fight, I think Santos is a bit of an overrated fighter. I think she's a bit overrated of a striker. She was throwing, very wide shots, basically swinging stiff arm from the hip. And she was managing to hit Blanchfield and tag her up quite a bit, push her back. Even though Blanchfield did keep advancing forward, she was able to fend her off with striking that is really nowhere near Manon Fiorot's level of striking. If you look at Manon Fiorot in her last fight against Rose, she looked better than ever, man. She is this incredible stand-up artist that is still improving from fight to fight. I think Blanchfield is probably improving as well, but I was a lot more impressed by Manon's last fight than I was by Blanchfield's. And, everyone that kind of watches the sport has been looking at these two girls and saying, oh, man, this is that kind of typical, striker-grappler matchup against two very talented, not undefeated, because Blanchfield is not undefeated. She lost early on to Tracy Cortez, but Blanchfield lately has been on a hot streak. She's been defeating everybody quite dominantly, and Manon's been doing the same thing, but a completely different style, standing on the feet. But the thing is Manon has way better striking than anyone that Blanchfield's faced so far. Manon has way better footwork and way better movement laterally and in and out than anyone Blanchfield has faced so far. She's got higher volume striking output than anyone has faced so far, and I think she's probably got more power than, Jessica Andrade probably had more power, but Jessica Andrade doesn't have anywhere near the output that Manon Fiorot does. And I just think that Manon Fiorot is going to be able to put straight, long, sharp combinations right down the middle. I think she's going to do a lot of damage to Erin Blanchfield, and I think Blanchfield is going to struggle to get Manon down here because Manon is not really this chick that, is completely lost on the ground. She's a stand-up fighter, yes, but she's serviceable on the ground. She's been taken down before, and she is difficult to take down. She's very tall, and she's actually she's got good, stand-up cage wrestling. Not on the ground, but she's good at, pushing girls against the fence when she does get into those scenarios. She's not, totally out of her element if someone does get her in a clinch. She is quite good about, getting away from grappling transitions, staying up on the feet, staying against the cage. And, again, she even pushed Rose against the cage in some instances. And, come on, don't you think that Rose's game plan probably involved some grappling? Don't you think they probably talked about that? Maybe try to get her down? She is such a good striker. And Rose wasn't able to. Nobody's really been able to get Manon Fiorot down. So I just have a feeling that, yes, Blanchfield could maybe get her down, but I think there's as likely of a scenario that Manon just avoids the takedown for the entire fight and just pieces Blanchfield up. And, you know, even if Blanchfield gets her down, I'm not 1,000% sure Blanchfield can finish her on the feet the way she's done to everybody else. I'm not 1,000% sure she can submit Manon Fiorot. And I think there's probably a better chance that Manon is more elusive and can stay away and box her up and do more damage on the feet than I think there's a chance of Blanchfield taking her down and finishing her. Even though Blanchfield's very good at that, I just think she's going to lose a decision here for some reason. I just see it. I see Manon Fiorot winning by decision, doing more damage and having way more significant strikes. And if Blanchfield can't do something with the takedown, if she can't finish the fight, I think she's going to lose here. So 1.75 units on Manon Fiorot at plus money, or 1.5 right now, but probably will be 1.75 soon. Check the Bet MMA tips. Got more picks coming later this week, but Manon Fiorot is going to be the pick, guys.